AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, welcome back. You're listening to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. We are powered by our good friends at Tandem HR, your solution center. Give them a call, 630-928-0510, or check them out online, tandemhr.com. Thrilled to be joined by a fantastic founder of an organization, Juliana Taimoorazy, the founder of the Iraqi Christian Relief Council, the ICRC. Our listeners surely know that we love to spotlight and profile fantastic organizations doing amazing work in the Chicago area and beyond. And Juliana is one of those nonprofit leaders that is truly making a difference around the world. Juliana, thank you so much for joining us on Get Down to Business.
Shalom, it's truly an honor to be with you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. So I know you have just over these past few weeks been traveling a great deal, raising awareness about a very important mission. Tell us a little bit about what Assyrian Christians in Iraq are going through and how you are helping their plight and their cause.
The Al-Qaeda founded Safe Haven in Iraq in 2003 and wreaked havoc on Christian lives. And 1.6 million Assyrian Christians are now. We only have about 200,000 left. Everyone has fled due to this heavy, heavy persecution. Our churches have been bombed over 100 times. Our men have been executed. Our women, many of them, have been kidnapped. But in 2014, when ISIS re-entered Iraq, everything even became more brutal. There are so many of our women, hundreds of our women, that have been sold in sex slavery. And people have been truly, their lives have been completely devastated because they're Christians and because they're of the Assyrian ethnicity.
And Juliana, we don't hear about these issues all the time. We hear a lot about many of the other issues in cities like Mosul and in Syria, and we're hearing about a lot of concerns in the Middle East, but this is a concern that should be spoken about a lot more than it actually is. I know, aside for the humanitarian aid that you are raising funds for, and we're certainly going to talk about that in a moment, a big part of your effort is advocacy. Tell us a little bit about your conversations with lawmakers and the progress that the organization has already made in raising awareness about this important issue.
Sure. We have to look at the entire Assyrian Christian issue in two perspectives. One is the short term, one is the long term. Let's talk about long term. That's what you are referring to. We have been advocating heavily on the Hill in Washington, D.C. We've gone to the Trump camp several times. We went to Clinton camp as well. And we talked about the importance of keeping the Assyrian heritage in Iraq as well as the Christianity, because that's where Christians really were formed, or they converted to Christianity. Assyrians were through St. Thomas the Apostle. And in order for us to have a stable Middle East, we have to have a strong Israel, and we have to have a strong Christian presence. So understanding that, we've been talking to the lawmakers about having a province for the Christians and other minorities in Iraq. Minorities that have called Iraq home for thousands and thousands of years, and Assyrians are one of them. And there is, because of the Islamic State, the conversation has changed even on the Hill, as we all know. And they're taking this creation of a province in northern Iraq, which is on the outskirts of Mosul, a lot more seriously. This is going to be a homeland for the Assyrians, called the Nineveh Plain, for the Turkmen, called Talafar, and we're advocating for the Yazidis. That's another group, indigenous group to Iraq, during in the Sinjar mountain area.
And we're going to make sure that our listeners can find out the work of the ICRC online, so they could find ways to support your important work. But Juliana, you were born in Iran, and you have now taken it upon yourself to make things happen. So to end this persecution that's taking place throughout the Middle East, and as you said, your love for Israel and your commitment to helping brothers and sisters has made so much happen. But let's talk numbers. How many people have you been able to impact Assyrian Christians in the Middle East?
In 2014, we were able to help 135,000 Christians there, and in 2015, we were able to touch 150,000 lives. We provide them with food, shelter, medicine. We build them homes. We provide basic necessities for children that otherwise they don't have any. Now, however, we're at a very important point in our history. With the fall of ISIS from the Nineveh Plain area, these Christian towns have been liberated. The Assyrian towns have been liberated. So we are starting a campaign. We have started, actually, a campaign called Operation Return to Nineveh. Operation Return to Nineveh. And you can find a lot of information on this and how people can partner with us on victimsofisis.org, victimsofisis.org. Your listeners can really get involved with helping them from food and winter supplies, because winters are so cold in northern Iraq, to helping us rebuild schools. We would love for American schools to adopt Assyrian schools in northern Iraq, or hospitals to adopt hospitals there, to rebuild these hospitals, because people are returning to their homeland, to their homes, to ground zero, Shalom. There's nothing left. The infrastructure has been destroyed. Homes are booby-trapped. Hospitals have been completely destroyed. Agricultural system is uprooted. And instead of having refugees flee that area, we want to repatriate refugees back home, because that's what they want anyway. And we're right in the heart of that. Victimsofisis.org. You can find so much information there.
That's fantastic. And again, we want to make sure that our listeners find a way to help and get involved. But the extreme persecution of Christians was indeed recently recognized as a genocide by the United States government. And regardless of your personal background, or our listeners are small business owners, entrepreneurs, and everybody can find a way to get involved and stop this persecution and make something happen to help in some way, whether it's donating their money, donating time, or even speaking out publicly. So, Juliana, with that in mind, what's the best way for our listeners to get involved? I know you've shared a website where people can learn more. How can people step up to the plate to end this persecution?
Thank you for that. I am local. I live just in Skokie, and if people want to hear about this, to really feel the humanity, the suffering of the humanity that has been going on for so long in front of our eyes, you can contact me. My own personal number is on the website. Website, once again, is victimsofisis.org. And I would love to share my own personal story with them as well, because I escaped Iran. I escaped religious harassment. And I believe the Assyrian cause is very much like the Jewish cause. We need an Assyrian Zionism of our own. I would like to tell you, Shalom, as a child, I was a child Zionist. I want to say, growing up in Iran, where they used to make us walk, or they would try to force me to walk on the American and Israeli flag. I would find a way of tippy-toe around it and not do that. So I've always honored Israel and the Jewish people. And as today I look at our own cause, I see the similarities. So I really want to get the Jewish community involved, the American community involved even more, to help our brothers and sisters that have suffered so much and really help the humanity.
And at a time where we're facing so much division in our own country and around the world, what better way to show our strength as humanity, as people, in doing something good? And that's what we love to do here on Get Down to Business. We are a show all about entrepreneurship, but I truly believe that the sign of a professional is being able to give back, and this is certainly a fantastic cause and a way to give back to community. So, Juliana, first of all, thank you for all that you are doing on behalf of Assyrians and Christians that are being persecuted, and for raising awareness about this important issue, and for giving our listeners an opportunity to get involved and to make an impact as well. One more time, if you don't mind sharing that website where people can find your contact information and learn more about this important issue.
Sure. It's www.victimsofisis.org. And you can also find us on Facebook under Iraqi Christian Relief Council.
Fantastic, and I know you have a lot of great information about the issue. through videos and Facebook and Twitter. So take advantage. Once again, you're listening to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Juliana, thank you so much for joining us. Coming up after the break, we're going to be talking regarding small business, talking regarding jobs, talking regarding entrepreneurship. We've got a lot more coming up for you after the break. So Chicago, don't touch that dial. You're listening to Get Down to Business. You can always download podcasts from our show on my website, shalomklein.com, and you get a sneak peek of who's going to be at next week. Don't touch that dial. More for you after the break.
There's a new president.